Welcome back to another episode of Dining with History. On today's episode, we're traveling back to the 18th century to honor a crucial witness to the American Revolution, Rachel Revere. Wife of Paul Revere, Rachel witnessed firsthand the siege of Boston and struggled to keep her 7 children alive with dwindling resources available to her. And though she managed to lead her children out of Boston and reunite with Paul in Watertown, it's her time in Boston that I want to focus on today. Feeding 7 children during a blockade must have been tough, so we chose a recipe from 1784 that she could have made since it requires very few ingredients. Today, we're making a humble potato and apple pie from Susanna Macaber's 1784 cookbook, Cookery and Pastry. Let's start with our ingredients. The zest of 1 orange, 4 to 5 Granny Smith apples, depending on the size. Granny Smiths will hold their form when baked, but my apples were on the smaller side, so I ended up using 5 of them. 2 russet potatoes. Again, we're looking for potatoes that won't become mush, and russets hold their shape really well. 6 ounces of unsalted butter for the crust, and about 1/4 cup for the filling. 2 to 3 tablespoons of sugar, 12 ounces or 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour. Now let's turn our attention to what we'll need to actually make this. 1 large and 1 medium bowl, 1 pie pan, 1 measuring cup, 1/2 tablespoon, a peeler for the apples and the potatoes, 1 zester for the orange at the very end of the recipe, a knife, and 1 rolling pin. And that's it. Let's get started. We're going to start by making the pie crust, which is going to be a bit different than what you're used to. Back in the 18th century, pies did not have a top and bottom crust, so we're going to be making a top crust and a binder to help seal the pie. Let's start with our flour. You want an unsifted all-purpose flour, 12 ounces or 1.5 cups. Add a pinch of salt. Next, we're going to cut our unsalted butter. Add your butter in a 2-to-1 ratio. 12 ounces of flour means 6 ounces of butter. Cut them into manageable cubes. Mix with your hands. You want to use the fingertips and make sure you're not melting the butter. So you want to touch the butter quickly. You're essentially making a crumble. Once it's the right texture, we're going to add water. Make sure the water is nice and cold. Remember, we want the butter to remain partially solid, so putting ice cubes in your water is a way to do that. Add it 1 to 2 tablespoons at a time until it is ready. Flour your surface and use a rolling pin. You want to roll it until the crust is 1/8 of an inch thick. Remember, in the 18th century, most pies only had a top crust. What we're going to do is have enough of this crust to create the top crust and a sealant, which is an edge rim that will adhere to the top. I measure the width of the pie pan and use the extra to create this sealant. If you would like to make a bottom crust, you're more than welcome to. I would recommend doubling the recipe and using 24 ounces of all-purpose flour and 12 ounces of butter. We're going to preheat the oven to 450, and now we're going to start with the filling. Now it's time to start peeling away at your produce. Please take your time and watch your fingers as you peel away 4 to 5 apples and 2 to 3 potatoes. We want to parboil the potatoes, enough so that they hold their shape when you cut them. I recommend putting them in your pan with just enough water that it covers them completely, and letting them come to a boil. Reduce your heat to medium-high simmer and let them cook for around 5 minutes. Now for your apples. Peel the apples and cut them into slices. When your potatoes feel cool to the touch, it's time to cut. And then cut the potatoes into slices. Honestly, that's it. We're ready to assemble now. We're going to start with the apples. A layer of apples, followed by a layer of potatoes. Add about half a tablespoon to a tablespoon of sugar, and a layer of butter. A few dabs will be fine. Now we're going to repeat our layers until we reach the top. Apple, potatoes, butter, sugar. Rinse and repeat. The top layer should be apples, as the original recipe calls for more apples than potatoes. You're more than welcome to add other ingredients to your liking. Cinnamon would work really well here, nutmeg, cloves for that fall flavor, but for the sake of accuracy, we're sticking to just plain sugar. Now, we're going to add our pie crust and seal the rim with water. You're going to add this to the oven and let it bake for 30 minutes, 40 minutes maximum. And there you go, our very humble apple and potato pie for Rachel Revere.
Hi Uriel, how are you?
Doing really well.
I am super excited to learn about what we've made today. I know it's 18th century inspired, so I've worn my POTUS 1 George Washington shirt because it's America 250 and we have to celebrate with food.
I love that. I made for you guys today an apple and potato pie.
Ooh.
So a couple things that I learned while making this is that back in the 18th century, there was no top and bottom crust. So everything is just top crust, which is why instead of using a knife to cut this, we're actually going to use a scooper.
Cool.
Yeah. Are you excited?
Yeah.
Let's dig in.
I'm a bit of a foodie and I always love trying new things. So but I'm also a bit of a klutz, so I'm gonna let you do this.
So we're gonna dig in just like that.
And so I'm thinking, like, when things were in season, I know apples obviously are early autumn. We have a really cool apple tree in our backyard that we love to pick apples from. And I'm assuming potatoes would probably be harvested at a similar time. So this would be a really easy dish to make with fresh vegetables, fresh fruit as well.
Easy, and I also did my research and it said hearty. So
Hearty.
with the potatoes there, it's usually just for sustenance purposes,
Yeah,
right?
starch,
So,
right? More than
exactly.
a vegetable, it's a starch. Very good. And I think that we see that a lot with like 18th century Boston. We are always looking at like baked beans because baked beans are cheap. They don't really require refrigeration. You can keep them overnight and they're full of protein and full of energy. So we're looking at the hearty New Englander way of filling up as autumn weather got cooler.
And just to manage your expectations, because of that, this recipe calls for not as much sugar as you would think.
Okay, not as much sugar, right? Okay.
Sugar. And you could probably taste a zest of orange as like some flavor that they added to this, but it's not your typical apple pie.
Right, sugar was very expensive, so
Correct.
That's a very good thing to remember. I'm excited. Would you have put anything on top, like cinnamon?
Some things that we could add to, if you want to lighten up, nutmeg.
Nutmeg.
Cinnamon. Of course, if you want to dig in and do some more brown sugar.
Oh, this is great.
Mm-hmm. It's very subtle
It's
flavors.
very subtle. Yeah, but just that sweetness from the apple just comes in right at the perfect, like right before you're gonna swallow the bite.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. Wow.
I never would have put apple and potatoes together.
No, but you know they're both native to this area, and so I feel like in many ways we're very blessed to have a lot of foods that grow here that complement one another really nicely. And that bite tasted like mashed potatoes, but like a little sweet.
Yeah.
Every bite is a little different. I love it. I got more zest from the orange that time.
This feels like a meal. It feels like it would be dinner and dessert.
Yeah,
at the same time.
100%. I'm gonna eat it all. And then you're gonna take the rest home to your lovely wife. And I don't know if your child's gonna eat anything like this yet.
The potato's actually good.
Uriel's a new father. And how old is Remy?
He just turned 6 months.
6 months. Oh, it's so cute. Well, thank you for taking the time. And we'll share this recipe with everyone.
Absolutely.
And Uriel showed you how to prepare it. And thank you for joining us for Dining with History to Play.
Have a good night.